What's poppin', Brew Breezy babies? It's your girl Brew Breezy, and I'm back.
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious?
I did again with the video for you guys today, and as you can tell by the title, up above, or somewhere on the screen, we demand justice. Before we jump into today's video, I just want to let you guys know that this video and every video after this video will have links to articles, fundraisers, and petitions that you guys can support and be a part of in the description box down below. This fight is nowhere near over, and I'm ready to stand by and help in any way I can. I see you, I hear you, and I am fighting with you. Without further ado, let's get started with today's video. Eric Garner, George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Brianna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, and the list could go on. I'll insert the list. And the list of names would also be in the description box down below. When is it gonna stop? Black Lives Matter. For those of you putting hashtag all lives matter, all lives can't matter. They obviously don't matter. We can't say all lives matter until Black Lives Matter. Because Black lives should be a part of that all, but it's not. Pledge of Allegiance, obviously a lie. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is it really for all? Or is it just everybody else except for people of color? Because I don't call this one nation. We definitely don't have liberty or justice. Is it one nation with two races going back and forth with each other? This has not just started either. Y'all, come on, y'all. Like, y'all learn about it in history class. This has been happening for years, longer than my grandmother has been alive. We've never been one nation. We definitely not under God. Because the way that I grew up and the way that my beliefs work, this won't be happening under God's watch. God wouldn't put us through this. I don't repeat the pledge. And that's my reason why. Will Smith said, racism is not getting worse, it's getting filmed. I believe that. Back in the day, they didn't have iPhone 11, iPhone X, iPhone this, iPhone that to film it. They didn't have Instagram Live. They didn't have Facebook Live. They didn't have Snapchat 1-minute clips. They didn't have all that to film and show people what's happening in this world. They didn't have that. What they had was books. What they had was their words. Nobody was carrying around a big old camera to film what was going on, especially while they were fighting for their lives. They wasn't doing that. Wake up. This has been happening for a long time. It's nothing new. This did not start because of quarantine. This did not start with Trayvon Martin. This sure didn't start with Martin Luther King Jr. It did not start with Eric Garner. It started way back when. This did not start with Emmett Till. It's been happening. Martin Luther King would be disappointed right about now. He fought, he spoke, he had dreams. He lost his life because he fought and he had dreams. If he was still here on this earth, he would feel like everything he did was pointless because we did not change. Martin Luther King III posted on Twitter, as my father explained during his lifetime, a riot is the language of the unheard. We've been unheard for how long? for multiple years. Longer than I've been alive. And I'm sure longer than my grandmother has been alive. What they aren't telling you though is that people of color, black people, we did not start the riot. The police officers did. The white people who was there started the riot. Why is it that when white people protest, it's a protest? And that's all that it is. It's a simple protest. When black people protest and they're fighting for what they want, it's a riot. It's not cool at all. Everything that has been happening is not cool. Bro, pay attention to your non-black friends who aren't posting anything, who's staying silent. Because deep down inside, they do not care. They will say that they stand with you 24/7. Oh, I got your back, girl. Don't worry about it. I got your back. You my bro. You know I got your back. You my sis. I got you. I got you. Well, I need you. Where you at? Silent. And if you're allowing them to be silent, you might as well just be silent too. Don't let them be silent. Tell them to speak up about this situation. Pay attention to your favorite YouTubers, your favorite rappers, your favorite singers, your favorite this, your favorite that, your favorite influencers of who's also being quiet. You got a platform, use your platform. I've been using my Instagram 24/7. I said everyone wants to put their 2 cents into a situation that lasts a day or two, but then everyone gets silent when it's time to take a stand for a situation that's been happening for years. For years. I saw this post and the post said this has been going on for almost 300 years. 300 years. We still fighting. That's how many centuries? We still fighting. 3 centuries later. I find it crazy how people who are obsessed with saying the N-word, who would fight to say the N-word, who would do anything in their power to say the N-word, is staying silent. How are you obsessed with the black culture as a whole, their music, their hairstyle, the way they dress, their language, the N-word, but you aren't speaking up about their situations? Instead, you're holding back because you're afraid how that's going to look on your platform, on your Instagram, because it doesn't fit the aesthetic of your account. I'm posting here. I'm using my YouTube platform, I'm using my Instagram platform, and I'm using my Snapchat platform. I lost 5 followers within 1 day of posting about Black Lives Matter. I got blocked on Snapchat by 1 person for posting about Black Lives Matter. Do I care? No. Because at the end of the day, I'm glad they unfollowed me. I'm glad they blocked me. Because I don't need that type of negativity around me. Pay attention to the apps that you are using. Because if you're using TikTok, disgusting. I use TikTok as an entertainment base, something that I can look at when I need to laugh or anything like that, and I'm disgusted. They got rid of all of the George Floyd's hashtags. They got rid of all the Black Lives Matter hashtags. You're one of the biggest platforms. You got little kids on that platform. You got high people on that platform. And you doing this, you're not supporting it. But I'm sure All Lives Matter hashtag is still up. Really? All lives cannot matter if Black lives don't matter. Let me give you an example. Got 4 houses, Black, Asian, Hispanic, white. Boom, out the way. The black house is on fire. Asian house, slight fire, could be put out with water, maybe even a wet towel. Okay? You call 911 and you say, there's 2 houses on fire. They're gonna see the black house and see that that house needs the most attention. That house is falling down. Those people in that house are going to die if they stay in that house. So they're getting all the attention. Well, there's probably like one person helping out the Asian house. The firefighters aren't gonna give all the attention to every single house because every single house don't need attention. The black house needs attention. That's what house needs it. If you try to find ways to say that the cop had to do what he had to do and he was doing his job, unsubscribe me, unfollow me. Don't talk to me. No. Doing your job by kneeling on someone's neck, closing their windpipe for 8 to 9 minutes, 2 minutes after they're already unconscious, that's doing their job? Because I thought their job was to serve and protect. And killing our black men, killing our black woman is not serving nor protecting. That's not it. Ain't no way. Y'all getting mad because they ran into Target and they were looting in Target and doing what they had to do in Target. But the KKK burned down places, burned down homes, burned down churches, burned people. Target could be replaced. Those merchandises could be replaced. A life, multiple lives, can't bring back George Floyd. You can't bring back Eric Garner. You can't bring back Sandra Bland. You can't bring back Trayvon Martin. You can't bring back Brianna Taylor. You can't bring back Ahmaud. You can't bring back Eric Reason. You can't bring back Christopher Whitfield. George Floyd's murder was charged with 3rd degree murder. 3rd degree is an accident. You don't kneel on someone's neck for 8 to 9 minutes as an accident, especially if you can hear the words.
I can breathe.
It's not an accident to me. And I'll tell you the reason why they are claiming it as an accident. Because when they did whatever they did to find out how he passed away, it came back as a heart attack. That's what they're not telling you. This man had a heart attack, and instead of helping him, they kneeled on his neck.
I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. And before I do, don't at any point think that I'm trying to give excuses for the cops, because I think this makes it worse what the cops did. Okay? So he's pulled out of his car, he gets walked over, and he literally slides down the wall, right? He slides down, he sits down, and the cops are trying to get him to get up. They pull him back up, they walk him back over, and he falls over on the ground, okay? And that's when they start, they stick their knee in his neck, okay? This guy was having a heart attack, okay? That's what was going on. He was having a heart attack, and instead of helping him, the police stuck knee in his neck, okay? So I guarantee you, when the prosecutors are saying like, oh, we have reason to say that they shouldn't be prosecuted, it's because in the autopsy, they found out the guy had a heart attack, okay? Now, I think that makes it worse, okay? This guy was having a medical episode, and instead of helping the guy, they stuck a knee in his neck. Think about what that would be like, dude. Your heart's stopping, and you're on the ground, and you have this guy not listening to you with a knee in your neck.
I call that intentional. Over a check. You kneel on somebody's neck over a check. You kneel on someone's neck at all. That's not the way to go about things. This man was already in handcuffs. You take him to the station and you start asking him questions. That's what you do. And what they aren't telling you is that the check was real. It wasn't forged, it wasn't none of that they were claiming it to be. This white man killed 9 people. He was taken out peacefully by the police. This other white man killed 23 people. He was taken out peacefully by the police as well. Eric Garner allegedly, so loose cigarettes, he was suffocated. George Floyd allegedly forged a check. He too was suffocated. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "There comes a time when silence is betrayal," and it is. You can't say that you're with us, but then stay silent once it's time to be with us. Caitlin Bennett claims white privilege isn't real. She wore an AR-10 rifle on her back to her graduation and walked away unharmed. Tamir Rice played with a toy gun and was fatally shot in the chest for it. His murderer walks free to this day. White privilege is 100% real. White people could walk home with the hood on after going to the grocery store without getting questioned about it, of course. White people could run in their neighborhood without being questioned about it. White people could sleep in their own home without having to worry about losing their life. White people could sign checks. White people could sell cigarettes. White people don't have to get stared at while in a grocery store or in any store. As a matter of fact, white people aren't put under this stereotype as loud, ghetto, ratchet, thieves, thugs. 45 called black people thugs, but said white people are good people. Let me read y'all that tweet. Donald Trump said, "These thugs," in all caps, "are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd, and I won't let that happen. Just spoke to Governor Tim and told him that the military is with him all the way. Any difficulty and we will assume control. But when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Thank you." This was about the black people protesting about police brutality. I'll read you the next post. "The governor of Michigan should give a little and put out the fire. These are very good people, but they are angry. They want their lives back again, safely. See them, talk to them, make a deal." This was about white people protesting because they can't get their hair and nails done. I want my nails done. I want to be able to sit in a salon shop for almost 3 hours. I want to go out. I want my life back again. And I'm sure all those black families want their relatives' lives back as well. Saw a post and I retweeted it, and it said, "The fact that my 79-year-old grandmother watched the news and said they gassing them babies just like they did us broke my heart to the core. This is why I'm mad. Nothing has changed." When you attack one black man, you attack all black men. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but I'll put the screenshot up on the screen. The tweet said, her name is blank. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't want to pronounce it wrong. And she is a black woman from Toronto who was killed by police an hour ago. She was thrown off the balcony by the police. Please share before they change the story like they already are. They can change her story just like they did Sandra Bland's. And I will elaborate. They said Sandra Bland committed suicide and hung herself with a plastic bag. If somebody tries to hang themselves with a plastic bag, what's gonna happen? It's gonna rip. Left is the mugshot the media released. Right is the real one. Now tell me again she killed herself. I will be inserting screenshots of this as well. My friend said Sandra Bland's mugshot. Mind you, she isn't wearing her regular clothes. Her shoulders are going straight across, which only happens when you're laying down. And her hair is moving towards the back, touching the wall. Yet they want people to believe she was alive in her mugshot. No, they killed her and then made it look like she was alive in that mugshot, and that she hung herself with the plastic bag, which is so foolish and sad. It is very easy to Photoshop. What's important, they edited her mugshot. They even edited her eye bags to be less evident. Any evidence that would show that she was dead, they changed it. It's literally so easy to make someone's eyes look like that. Terrible. This happened 5 years ago, and still her truth hasn't come out. It's really a shame that this happens to people and the media lies and they never get justice. She was killed over a minor traffic violation that a white person would get a slap on the wrist for. Anybody see the difference? Because I do. Whoever did this to her needs to be held accountable. You really expect people to believe she hung herself in her jail cell with a plastic bag? I'll get plastic bag. Give me 1 second. Let's stretch it out. Let's see what's gonna happen when you stretch the bag out. Look, it's already ripping. You know, waste, like, what? That is foolishness. You have to be delusional to think that Sandra Bland hung herself with a plastic bag. The plastic bag wouldn't even be able to support her body weight. The example I just gave couldn't even support me ripping it. Also, she was about 6 feet tall and her cell wasn't nearly that tall. So how could she manage to hang anything? If jail cells are like anything like the movies and these like music videos, who's hanging what? Cause it sure ain't a baddie. Sure ain't a baddie. When you take a mugshot, you get side views. Still ain't see that side view mugshot photo. They trying to make us forget about it. I'm not. Also never published a side mugshot, just the angle taken from the front. Man, they suffocated her to death and they made it look like a suicide. Nobody was ever held accountable, and that's the problem. I'm so angry right now, words can't even describe. This is not okay. You got Sandra Bland, murderer, walking free. We got Trayvon's murderer, walking free. I believe Eric Garner's murder is walking free, but without a badge. George Floyd's murder will be walking free in a couple years. Let me put it like this. The death penalty, if Derek, whatever his last name is, the police officer who killed George Floyd, was a black man, you can't tell me that the death penalty wouldn't have been a thought or spoken about. Can't tell me that. And I find it crazy how an abortion is murder, but kneeling on somebody's neck is a misunderstanding. No amount of burning buildings, no amount of ruined stores will disturb me as much as not only George Floyd's video of being murdered did, but every other video before that and story. And when I say white people, I mean the ones that be up dressed in races by 6 a.m. Post that I posted on Instagram. Y'all should not be forcing these non-black influencers and celebs to speak up. Anything that has to be forced out of someone is not genuine. It's not. And you cannot sit here and tell me that it is genuine, because if I see multiple comments under my post asking me, why haven't you spoken up about this? Where's your video about this? Where's that? Where's this? Where's this? Why are you staying silent? Once I get tired of it, that's when I'm gonna speak up, and I'm gonna tell people what they want to hear. So don't force it, because they only telling you what you want to hear. And that's that on that. And if you don't like that, if you see that your favorite influencer or your favorite celebs or celebs in general is not speaking up, cancel them. Cancel them. Y'all so quick to cancel somebody for saying this, saying that, but when it's time to cancel them over a situation that has to get canceled, y'all don't cancel them. Y'all sit back and y'all let them be. Now, Black Lives Matter, and I can't stress that enough. Black mothers should not have to worry about whether or not their son is next. Black families should not have to worry about whether or not their relative is next. A Black mother should not have to sit down her child at a young age and explain to them that police will kill you because of your skin color. George Floyd was nailed on after he complied. He didn't resist. He was already in handcuffs and everything. And he still lost his life. Those policemen killed him. But there was a serial killer on the loose in the West Coast. When he was under custody and everything like that, he was given water. I heard he was fed McDonald's. He was white. Can't tell me white privilege is not real. You can't tell me that. Click the link in my description box down below to sign a petition for George Floyd. Text justice to 668-366 to demand justice for George Floyd. Text enough to 55156 to demand justice for Breonna Taylor. Text Floyd, FLOYD, to 55156 to demand the officers are charged with George Floyd's murder. No justice, no peace.